So on Instagram, right? LeBron James, Anthony Davis, arguably the best duo in the NBA, posted this picture together on social media. So it got us thinking, if they're the best duo in the league, are they the best team out west? Break it down for us. Your top three teams in the Western Conference.
They might not be the best duo in California.
Ooh,
how about
man.
that? We're going to start with number 3 being Denver Nuggets, lost in the Western Conference semifinals, had the second best record in the West behind Golden State Warriors. This team really played great throughout the season. They had great chemistry. They understood their roles. And when you can pick up that team option for Paul Millsap, it lets him know, like, hey, I have the security here. But also, he was a great compliment to the Joker. And the Joker is one of the best bigs in the game because he can facilitate, he rebounds the ball, and he's probably one of the best passers that we've seen.
And they picked up that $30 million option on Paul Millsap, keeping that team intact. Who you got at number 2?
Talked about that duo of LeBron and AD.
James.
That duo right now, you look at LeBron with the experience and having won championships. This team right here is destined because they've added really good pieces. Adding a shooter like Danny Green makes them a contender because what's helped LeBron in his quest to win championships are putting shooters around him. Kuzma can knock down shots from outside. We already talked about Danny Green being an over 40% three-point shooter. And then you have AD. He gets the opportunity to play where he wants to play, but also play alongside LeBron James, who's going to lead him. And let's not forget Rondo, who's the leader and also a champion in himself.
So this is interesting because either you omit the team that's been to the finals 5 straight years in the Western Conference or the team that has Kawhi Leonard and Paul George together. So who's number 1?
They're not the little brother to the Lakers anymore.
Oh,
Kawhi
man.
has shifted it right now. The way he's able to knock down shots, but also his ability to play defense. When you have 2 guys that can guard on the perimeter, and let's not forget about Patrick Beverley. He is also a lockdown defender. Lou Will coming off the bench. Montrezl Harrell, another guy that's always finishing at the basket. But this team have toughness. They have three guys that want to rip your heart out on a nightly basis. These are not friendly guys, and I mean they're tough. They want to win. And when you have a well-coached team that with Doc Rivers, who's won a championship, now you bring in a great collection of talent around him, and now he's going to do the best with that
So you're
talent.
saying a new era out west, Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets not in your top 3 anymore. Let's move to the East. Who's third for you?
Third for me right now is a team that I picked earlier. I think they're going to get better because they added another piece. Kemba Walker going to the Boston Celtics makes them a contender. And not to take anything away from Kyrie. I think Kyrie had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But when you give a guy a 4-year deal, that means he has an opportunity to go out there and play and be comfortable. And when you can be comfortable playing, I think that makes all the difference in the world because you're playing with a lot of confidence. And when you play with confidence, you have another player that can create shots. Yeah, they have a lot of holes in the middle, but now it's time for Tatum and Brown to step up and be those guys that could someday be all-stars down the stretch. And then you have Gordon Hayward, who will be the second year of coming off of a horrific injury.
Yeah, you mentioned those holes in the middle. Aaron Baines, Al Horford now gone, Marcus Morris. Their front line's going to be completely changed. Terry Rozier also gone. So it'll be interesting to see the Celtics next season as well. Who you got number 2?
The Greek Freak, the way he's able to play, Milwaukee Bucks. I think Milwaukee is a team that's going to be a contender in the East. But what is all said and done, losing a 90, 50, 40 guy, Malcolm Brogdon, he will be missed. Just his ability to play the right way. But this team right now, you look at the energy they play with, but a team that can knock down shots. Signing Brook Lopez was a big sign. Just getting them back in there gives them another big that can stretch the perimeter. But, this team right now, Giannis is really going to have to work on his not only low post game, but be able to make shots down low. That was the separation. That's how they were able to guard him because they stopped him. They built walls to stop him at the boxes and elbows.
So I'm guessing with Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green gone, that top spot's not going to the reigning champs.
No. Remember, that shot bounced in a couple times around the basket, and that team that lost to them in the Eastern Conference Final, Philly. I like Embiid, I like Simmons, and then you get Tobias Harris to a long-term contract, and I think for him, he's finally found a home. When you give a guy not only that money, but just a year, he can feel comfortable out there playing now. He's not under any more pressure. Yeah, they lose to shooting with J.J. Redick, but you have other guys that can make shots from the outside, and this team right now, adding Al Horford, who brings that experience, it gives them rim protection, and they have a big front line to deal with.
Big front line, big in the backcourt, too, with Ben Simmons.
Yes.
Just a team that, as the league is going to shooting outside, they're going the opposite way, going big inside. Tony
Play
Delk.
to your strengths.
Interesting to see. So I guess 76ers and the Clippers, that's what you're predicting for the finals. We'll see if that happens. Next season, it's not going to be the same without number 35. And when we see Kevin Durant again, he'll be wearing a new number. We talk about that next on Game Time. The teams have made their big roster moves with their veterans official. It's time to focus on the up-and-coming young players in the Las Vegas Summer League. The third pick in the draft, R.J. Barrett. Oh, man, he struggled in his debut the other night.
Give him time. He's only stepping on the stage for the first time, and right now you're going to see him deliver. You just got to give him time to find his game and also gel with his teammates. That's the most important thing in the summertime, it's a chemistry.
4 for 18 in his debut. What would he do in his second game? Well, the Knicks got him involved early and often. You like this?
Yes, this was a well-designed back cut for him. Nice screen, and whenever you get that back screen, it's one of the toughest screens to guard, and like I say, finish well at the basket.
Then he looks comfortable here on the high pick and roll.
Yeah, just coming off in space and knocking down a shot from long range, and that's something he's going to improve and get better with because now the game is all about pick and rolls.
Barrett finished just 3 for 15 from the field, so that lefty, the third pick in the draft, struggling. But how about Iggy Brasdeikis? Man, he was good money.
Man, you know what? There was no scouting report on him, especially how well he played going downhill, knocking down threes from the outside, but you have to like his aggressiveness, and he didn't defer to anyone.
Yeah, Brasdeikis, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 11 for 19 from the field. Again, that second-round pick, 47th overall. But let's go back to R.J. Barrett. Again, 3 for 15 from the field, followed up that 4 for 18 from the field, just 7 for 33 in his first 2 games. Why is he not comfortable yet?
I think you're feeling pressure. When you're the number 3 draft pick, there is a lot put on your shoulders. And right now, he had a great season with Duke. And going to the Knicks, there's so many pressure on these guys that as they come in as lottery picks, you expect for these guys to play lights out, but still they have to get a feel of the game. Like I said, these are different teammates than he played with at Duke, so he had to learn these guys as well as these guys have to learn him. So I would tell him to relax, let the game come to you, and don't be out there shot hunting. Let the game come to you as far as pick and rolls. When you open, knock down your shot. Play aggressive, but don't try to do too much.
Shot hunting, that's the interesting word we're going to have to focus on with R.J. Barrett going forward. Now, for Iggy Brasdeikis, here's a guy you're like, wow, he looks comfortable.
Yes.
And I know it's just a summer league game.
It's summer league.
But you want to hit on those second-round picks, and shooting is a skill that translates to regular season.
Well, it does, and you want to see if a guy can do this for the next couple of games. He was aggressive getting to the basket. Opportunities presented himself, and he took advantage of those opportunities. And I think when you're a shooter, it allows you driving lanes, and that's where shooting is so important right now. So if guys can knock down shots from outside, it opens up the driving lanes, and that's what he took advantage of.
I think we must have a left-handed producer of this show because we're going with the lefties. Next up, Jazz and Heat, and Mike Connolly is the first person we see here. What is going on? I think there's a theme, but I think there's someone else that you might be very, very accustomed to seeing. Good case of hero ball for Miami.
Yes, he just plays the game the right way. Simple. If you're closing out to him, he'll get to the basket. If you give him space, he'll knock down shots from outside. But he's really good at putting the ball on the floor, creating for himself. And, he's going to find himself, if he stays in Miami, let's hope he stays there because he has to sign his contract yet. But, a player that will be available because he knows how to play the game.
That's Tyler Hero, who scored 23 points in 20 minutes the other night. You see him there with the assist. Hero doing everything for Miami. 16 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. They win 93-81. Again, Tyler Hero, I know it's just summer league games, but he looked good in Utah. Looks comfortable again now in Las Vegas.
And I got a chance to see him a lot at Kentucky, but improve every month. And that's the thing about players is that how can you get better each and every month? And I saw his development from the guys like Kenny Payne teaching him to work on his game, and then Coach Cal trusting him and allowing him to be able to play.
Russell Westbrook is currently on a run like we've never seen in history, averaging a triple-double in 3 consecutive seasons. No other player has done that. Westbrook won the MVP award that first year, but since then the numbers have been going down, the salary going up. The next 4 years, he is going to make on average $42.8 million a season. Look, he's on the trading block now.
Right.
Here's a guy who's been durable as well.
Yes.
73 games last season, 80-plus the previous 3 seasons. So the rumors are swirling. Where do you see as a possible landing spot for Russell Westbrook?
Let's start with he's done so much for that organization. He's been a first-class citizen. He's done everything that you want him to do on the court and even off the court. But when you've had a player there, you can't be mostly tied to him because he's done so much for organization, but you have to be willing to move on. I like the trade possibly to Miami and playing and connecting and being a duo with Jimmy Buckets. That would be a good destination for him. Plus, he'll save some money at 40-plus million. No state tax. Who wouldn't want to make that move there? Different city, but the way he plays, I think it's going to be, definitely a benefit to Jimmy Butler because there's someone else he can count on. They're going to build a team around those 2 guys if that trade takes place. And Jimmy right now, he needs another guy with him because trying to carry a team by yourself is a lot of work.
Well, James Harden, his former teammate, has carried a team in Houston for a while as an MVP season as well. Could you see that as a possible reunion, or is that a bad match?
I think it's a bad match because both guys need the ball in their hand. So as much as CP3 might have been complaining or the 2 of them didn't always work together, you have a guy that's ball dominant just like James Harden. He rebounds the ball, he pushes the ball down in transition. He takes shots that sometimes we look at him and say, why were you taking that shot? Shot selection is important, especially as you get into the playoff. It's about execution in the half court and making the right plays. And those 2 guys both need the ball in their hands. So I don't think it would be a great mix with those 2 guys. But I like the matchup with him and Jimmy Butler because now it gives him another duo that doesn't need the ball in his hand pretty much throughout the game.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook struggling shooting from the field. His free throw percentage also going down season by season, just 65% this last year. So see,
can he correct that?
What
do you think? I think he can.
Yeah, well, for a second straight year, Kawhi Leonard, he's the one that shifted the balance of power in the NBA. So who are the top teams now in the East and the West? We examine next. You're watching Game Time.